It's lonely at the top. Gang, 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 gang. I've locked myself outside. The devil is a liar. Today that I said after church I will make this content and put it online today. This same today. I just realized that while I was heating up my food in the kitchen this morning, after locking my door, because the kitchen is outside of my room, I must have dropped my key on the kitchen counter. I got back from church so happy, even dancing, only for me to get to my door now. It's locked. I've rang my French neighbor's doorbell. He's not picking, or he's sleeping, or he's not inside. Like this now. I even went to learn French for, please open the door for me. I think it was something around Ouvrez-moi, portez, s'il te plaît. Please, it's not a joking matter. Let me just find a place to put my camera and say what I want to say, because this content was content. I don't want to know what devil has in stock today. I'm making this content and I'm going to upload this video like that today. So hold on. Let me look for where to drop my camera. I was dusting my jacket. If by some grace of God my key is inside, but no, my key is not. Anyways, it's been a long time I locked myself outside like this. It's been a very long time. My camera is currently standing on a car. I was supposed to go to a friend's place to shoot this video because we're supposed to shoot the video together, but she's not around at the moment. Pardon me if you hear any noise or any movement. I'll try to cut out the places where the cars and bicycles are going through. So I came to Belgium as an international student, and international students in Belgium have limited work hours. As when I came in last year, we had about 475 hours to work in a year, but it was increased towards the end of last year to about, you see what I'm saying? It was increased to about 600 hours per year for students. I mean, from January till December. But of course, our cards don't last until December. Our cards last until October 31st of every year. So we literally have like January till October. And sometimes the 3 months for summer is not calculated as part of the hours. So the kind of jobs that are available here for students varies because of the hours. And there are some times that you are qualified to do certain jobs, but in Belgium, they won't employ you for full-time job, even though you are capable of doing it, in as much as your ID card says a student card and your card is reading card A. So you have very limited hours to work in Belgium. So here, the types of jobs that you can find, you find jobs in warehouse, which I don't know much about because I didn't opt for that. You find jobs in factories, you find job in housekeeping, either domestic housekeeping, that's housekeeping for people, private housing. So you find jobs for hotel jobs to do housekeeping in hotels and offices or personal space for people. And then you can work in restaurants, in the kitchen, or if you speak French or Dutch, you can work as a waiter. And also, one of the jobs I found on my own was event jobs, where students also take event jobs, like ushering jobs, kind of like servers at events. So that one necessarily does not need French or Dutch, but sometimes there are discrimination on the basis of language. If you can speak Dutch, you get more jobs, more shifts than someone who cannot speak Dutch or French. In most cases, it's even Dutch, because like I said, I've said it over in my videos, Belgium is divided into 2 regions. You have the Flanders, and you have Wallonia, and you have Brussels, which is like 3 regions. So they also have a German community, but it's not, they are not that prominent. Then French, Brussels, if you stay in Brussels, you most likely have to speak French to even do some of the student jobs. If you live in Flanders, that's in Leuven, Ghent, Antwerpen, where else again? Anywhere in Flanders, you'll be more opportune to find jobs where language is not a barrier for students. But most of the restaurants might still insist that you speak English. So if you're looking for student job in restaurants, you still have to specify that you don't want to be a waiter, so that way the language will not be a barrier for you. So those are the kind of jobs that are available here. Another job that students do here is food delivery. You work with these food delivery companies to pick food up from restaurants and deliver to residents in the area. So those are the jobs. The next thing is the pay. For Belgium, there is a fixed pay you get, but not all employers stick to that pay. Some will pay you 10 euros, they'll tell you that's what they want to pay. Some will tell you they want to pay 11 euros. Some will pay you the normal minimum wage, which is like 13 euros, like 12.80 something euros, or maybe 13 euros. Some will pay you 14 euros. Like I've done a job that the pay was 14 euros. So it depends on who you're working with and where you're working and the type of job you're doing. So like the minimum you will get in most cases is like 12 euros, like 11 euros point something. So let's say on an average 12 euros. It's non-taxable, so that money is your money. So whatever comes from that 12 euros or 14 euros is entirely your money. Nothing goes to the government. But when you exceed your hours, like some jobs like the events job and restaurant jobs, when you exceed your hours, they begin to tax what you earn from there. Now for housekeeping is like a major job students here do, not just students, even international people or non-Belgians or people who come here. Housekeeping is like one of the jobs you do because that's the major job that don't require language. It's not like you're going there to chit chat with your clients. You're going there to work. So that's what I can say for the types of job and how you can get this job. Well, for me, I didn't work for like 2 months of coming to Belgium. I was not working because I was still job hunting and I was still waiting for my papers to be ready, because you can't use your visa to work in Belgium. You have to do all your paperwork and you have to go to the commune where you stay, the city hall of the commune where you stay, to apply and get your resident permit, your temporary resident permit in form of an ID card with your Belgian registration number. So when the ID card is not out and you cannot open a bank, and without a bank and without a bank account, a bank card, and that's your ID card with your Belgian number, your Belgian registration number, employers will not really want to employ you. So people will not want to give you jobs because they'll be asking, where is your bank card? It's very important in Belgium. They will ask you, where is your bank card? So even when I came, they'll give you a substitute document if your ID card is not ready. That document is called Annex 15. It's a document they give to you, like hold it temporarily while your card is processing. In some commune, the document will come with your Belgian registration number. In some commune, it will not come. Like in my commune, my Annex 15 did not come with my Belgian registration number. So even when I take the document to open my bank account, though my bank did not require it, but there was a bank I wanted to go open, they said I can't. They need the Belgian registration number, and you also need that paper and that number to go for insurance, to open, as in to register with an insurance company here in Belgium. So the paperwork is a bit much. You have like about a week to do all of this, and sometimes the school you are going to depends or determines how long it will take you to do all of this. For instance, now my school, we have to wait for the school to send the documents or send some things to the commune city hall, and the communes, that's the city hall in your commune, wait for the school to send the document, and when the school send the document, they'll send you an email that you can go. So without that email, you can't really go. So when everything is ready, at the end of the day, you have your Belgian registration number, you have your insurance, and you have your temporary ID card. After the police check, police will come to your address to check that you're living where you said you are living, and it's your registered apartment in your name, and you have a rental contract. All of these are very important before you can even get a job. I've talked about the types of job, I've talked about what you need to get the job, and I've talked about the pay. Now, how to find this job? Like I was saying, in my own case, I just went from agency to agency. Like I went to the housekeeping agency after asking some people here, and they said that housekeeping is like the popular job and restaurant. I was coming from church one day after the 2 months, exactly when it clocked 2 months. I was just telling God that I've been here for like almost 60 days. I need to start thinking of how to pay my rent and pay my bills. I need money. I was coming from church that particular day. I think I went to the church for sanctuary walk, and then when I got to the city center where I'll take the bus, I decided to walk home, because then I was buying card for bus. I didn't have transport card, because the school gives you transport card and it's very cheap, but I didn't have that then. So I decided I was going to walk home. So I saw this restaurant on my way. I just saw in Dutch, flexi, part-time, full-time, students. To be honest, the only word I recognized there was students, and I just took out my phone, brought out my Google Translate. Luckily, I had data. No, I didn't even have data. It was Wi-Fi. I just took a picture, put it, connected to one random Wi-Fi, and translated, and I saw that they needed somebody. So I went inside. I went to talk to some of the staff there. The kitchen chef was not around. The head of the kitchen, the chef was not around. So I went back. I didn't hear anything for like days. I just went back again. That you said you would tell the chef I came, but I didn't hear anything. Luckily, I met the owner of the restaurant, and that was how I got the restaurant job. And they told me that they wanted waiters, but someone who speak Dutch. Like Dutch, I did not speak. French, I did not hear. So but he now said, okay, what will I do? I said I'm willing to work in the kitchen if they have any space, and that was how he got me to see the chef. Luckily he called the chef was around, and he said, okay, I should come for a test on Monday. The test was working about 5 hours that day to see if I can work in the kitchen. So the 5 hours was paid, so the trial period was paid. Some restaurants, you will go there, they'll tell you that they will not pay you for trial, collect your money, because some of them will just use you to work for like 2 hours or 1 hour, and they'll tell you it's trial, and they'll tell you that it's not paid. This one, I worked for 5 hours that morning, and when he saw that I was impressed, he said he would teach me some things. I learned some Belgian food. If you look at my shots in December, you will see where I was putting some food shots. So he liked how I was working, and he gave me more shifts that same day, and that was how I got hired. Even when my Belgian national number was not out, but I had my bank card and I had the Annex 15, so I gave that to him. But luckily my boss was willing to wait for me, because that same week they promised me that my national ID number will be out, and or my ID card will be out, but the ID card did not still come out. So I think I went to the hospital for a doctor's appointment, and that was how I got my Belgian registration number, and I took it back to work and I gave it to him, because otherwise the following week I won't be able to work if that number is not out, because they need to register me on the database and put me on their employee system. So anyway, to cut the long story short, I walked myself to the agencies to look for the job. I didn't rely on waiting for people to some people say you have to send your CV online. Me, I just went to the agencies, went inside there and told them I want to work. They even asked me, do you have appointment? I said no, I just saw your, sometimes you have to improvise. I was like, if I say I don't have appointment, they might tell me that they don't have availability to attend to me. So I just said, I don't have an appointment, but I just walked in to see if you have any available space. And they were like, okay, can you work how many hours? So another trick is, don't say you can work only 5 hours or 10 hours. Nobody will take you for that kind of job. Nobody will take you. Your minimum hours a week as a student is 20 hours. So just tell them that you can work 20 hours. That's how they will take you. If you go and say maybe you've gotten one job somewhere and that one is 10 hours, you now come back and tell this one that you can work 10 hours. They will not take you. So it is you that know how you will schedule your timing. So I always told them that I didn't even have a job, though the restaurant had called me, but they had not given me a full-time shift because my number was not out. So they asked me, how long can you work? I said 20 hours a week, and the lady said, okay, come back. So I had already submitted my CV online too to that same agency. They scheduled me for appointment. The lady was like, you've been here before? I was like, yeah, I've been here. She said, okay, don't worry, we'll call you. And that was how I got the cleaning job as a housekeeper, domestic housekeeper. So they call them domestic housekeeper. So that was how I got the job. Now I was already working in the restaurant for like 1 week before the housekeeping job started, because the first time they called me for housekeeping, the person was speaking Dutch. I was like, why are you speaking Dutch? When I should have said, Alan, Lala, this job is not for me. So I now went to start the housekeeping job in January, and then I was already working in the restaurant for like 1 week. I started December in the restaurant. I worked for 2 weeks or 1 week already before January when the housekeeping clicked. To be honest, I hated the housekeeping job. So this brings me to my next point. When you come here, take away pride. Don't come here and say you used to be a CEO in a bank in Nigeria or in Ghana. You used to work in a secretariat in your home country, or you are Rike pre-order, you own your own business. Or you are Bumioni makeup, or you are makeup pro, or Shekiniko, you are a tailor, you have your own house, fashion house. See, I used to have my own fashion house in Nigeria. I was working as a lecturer, and I had my own business. I was also working as a research assistant. When I came here, I knew that I needed to survive, because I used to, and I get them before, not be property. It will not pay your bills here, and you don't want to sleep in the cold. See, I'm outside in the cold for just less than 15-30 minutes now, and I'm already cold. So I know when I go inside my house, heater is not even working now. The central heating for heater is off, so I have to like put my hand under warm water. So imagine being outside in the cold, homeless, and you are saying that you are Rike pre-order in Nigeria. You came here, you don't want to do housekeeping. No, hunger will catch you. Hunger, one key person. That's your story, and God will not let it be your story. So take away pride. Don't say I can't work in a factory, I can't do housekeeping. I hated housekeeping. If I go to do housekeeping, if you see me in the morning when I'm going, in my mind I'll be like, me, a old celeb. But I didn't let that get to me. I was never ashamed of doing the job. I worked as a dishwasher. I worked in the restaurant as a general kitchen assistant. So I will assist the chef, cut vegetables, assist them to bag food, clean the. Sometimes if you meet very nasty colleagues that they will make the work even tire you, you'll be angry. See, at the end of the day, do you know what keeps me going? As I'm working 5 hours, in my mind I'm doing 12 times 5. 12 times 5, 60. That's 60 euros. That's what is in my head. I don't want to know how the shift will go. My mind is Bola, 12 euros times 5 hours is 60 euros. One no lodger. Cash and carry. Even if I do extra 30 minutes, I know it's 6 euros. Every minute here counts. So don't come and say, you cannot do this job. Was I ashamed of doing the job? No. Did the job pay my bills? Yes. The job puts clothes on my body. The job pays my bills and gives me a roof over my head. That's what I'm saying about working here. Don't be shy. Then another way is talk to people. Don't say you're on your own. But I've met people here that will come, they'll tell you they can't do this job. Housekeeping, I hated that job. My prayer was just that God give me good clients, and luckily for me, I met very good clients. All my clients are very nice people. I have older clients, I have young clients and middle-aged clients, and I don't have problem with any of them. They are not racist, they are not wicked, they are not mean. So the key is just to meet very nice people, to just work with very nice people. Another thing also with working here is when you come here, don't be selective. Like it's still related to, it's not related to being proud, because when people will be proud, they'll say they can't do that job. But what I mean by selective is when you come for the first time, even if it's factory work, first take and be doing let hunger not destroy your scalp. First take it and be doing it while you look for something better. And another thing I've learned here is, even without appointment, learn to talk to people. And learn the basic word like student, flexi, student wanted, job available, all those kind of things. You will submit CV, some people will not give you. That brings me to my next point. When you are doing your CV, if you like, go and put Adike pre-order, or you go and put that you are the CEO of one bank in Nigeria. Those kind of things will not help you. I remember when I went to a restaurant, I was looking for a job, and I told this Asian man that I'm looking for a job. He said I should give him my CV. I gave him, and I was like, you are too educated. I said, Mogbe, please give me work. The education will not put food on my table. Please, I just want to work, because the education is not important at this moment, because I can't get full-time job with it. And for part-time job, it has to be restaurant or any kind of menial job. So don't look at my qualification. Just give me a job. And the man was like, okay, fine. Oh my God, can I afford to pay you? I was like, sir, there's minimum wage in Belgium. Pay me what they pay everybody. I'm not asking for too much. I'm not asking for too much. Just pay me what they pay everybody. And so what I now learned from that was I took away some certain qualifications from my CV and took away certain work experience from it. So even if you want to lift your CV, you want to alaba the CV, just package the CV in a way that every kind of work experience you put there will relate to something you can do as a student, like in a restaurant, domestic housekeeping, or you've worked in a hotel. Me, I've worked in mega chicken restaurants when I was in Nigeria after my NYC. So I put that experience there, and I took out some certain experience that I thought that would be too dignified for student work. So you want to come with a simple CV, because some of these people that are that owns this restaurant, some of them are not educated, and some of them will be scared that can they pay you, even though they know there's minimum wage, because that was what I experienced. So you want to have a CV, you want to have a part-time student job CV, you want to have good communication skills, you want to be nice to people, always smile, you want to have the confidence to walk into the place at any point and ask for a job. So what else? Hi. Everyone is just waving to me when they see my camera. So for the event job, I found that one online, and how I found it online was my school has this job database where you can find jobs. So I started applying, and I applied. Like I said, my CV, I used my student job kind of CV, and I got the event job. I went for the training for like 6 hours that day, or 4 hours. I think I was like about 4 to 5 hours, but I didn't stay to the end of the training. I had to leave, and then they asked me, would you be willing to work? Do you know Dutch or French? I said no, of course, but you are not interacting with clients. For the event job, you just need to know the basics, like thank you. You can have some, the people will ask you the name of the food you are carrying, so we always ask the chef from the kitchen the name of the food, and that's all you need to know: the name of the food, the type of drink you're serving, ash belief, thank you, and all of those things. like you just need to know the basic. And sometimes if I don't hear what they're saying, I just smile, because you kill them with your smile, you kill them with being nice, and nobody can say you don't understand the language. So you can find job online, and if you have the time, you can do volunteer. Just like me, I'm an international student, I have bills to pay, I cannot do volunteer work in relationship for fair. like I'm sorry, I can't do free work, and I didn't have the time to volunteer because my program was very, very complex. It demanded more time because it was a 1-year program, so I needed to work and pay my bills. My landlord will not hear I'm doing volunteer, I will send you message. So I just have to work, but if you have the time, you can do volunteer work. Now, can what you earn as a student in Belgium on these 20 hours per week pay your bills? Oh my god, yes. I'm not gonna lie. If you're working in Belgium and you work 20 hours and I'm not gonna say it on camera, you can pay your bills, you can pay your tuition fee. Depending on what you're paying, it might not take you to make the money at once, but you can make the money to pay your bills. If you're paying school fees like 1,500 or 3,000 or 4,500, which is the highest I've seen students here doing so far, you can still pay your bills with working with this job, restaurant, event job, cleaning. You can pay your bills. Even factory workers, you can pay your bills with it. I'm not going to lie for you. You can feed yourself, you can clothe yourself. If you get a mini apartment for a student, you do not do jukokoro to go and be looking for studio of 800 euros or 700 euros. You can pay your bills. If your rent is between 300 or 3, you might, before you will say house of 300, but now with the cost of living, you might likely not get an apartment of 300, except in very remote areas that might even be far from your school. So let's say with rent of 350 to 500 and your school fees, you can survive in Belgium. Especially when it's summer period where you can work more hours. Trust me, you make money. So will you survive? Yes, you will survive. Will restaurant job pay your bills? Yes. Will cleaning job pay your bills? Yes. So that's why I said don't be ashamed of whatever you are doing. Growing up, I learned that you don't say bad words against jobs, against certain jobs that you consider maybe this work is a dirty job. It's a job that put food on your table. Like my mom used to sell building materials. She's a supplier for building materials. She sells sand and all of that. Now the sand, they need people to go inside the water to bring the sand on the land for my mom to sell, right? And the water was not really so palatable, was not really so clean. So when we were growing up, we'll be like, mom, that water is dirty. She'll say, shut up your mouth. Because that's where people were getting their livelihood from. And if those people don't enter the water to bring the sand up on the land, you yourself and your mother will not eat. So you can't say this job is a dirty job, you can't do it, because there are people doing it and that's how it pays their bills. If you can't do it, there are people that are going to do it. That's just the thing about it here. Even the Bible says that when you do a job, when you're working and the job, it brings glory and honor to God, you're not doing the job illegally. It's not a job that is giving people, that is causing tears for other people. You're not scamming people. You are working honestly and you're working with hard work. God will bless the work of your hand. You will be happy and it will make everything well with you. And then even the Bible says, respect the days of humble beginning. Be calm. This might not be, you are a student. Who knows, after a year or 2 years, you'll get a full-time job or leave the country where you are and you'll be fine. So don't look at the job that this one, the work. So whatever you're doing, as much as you're paying your bills, you have roof over your head, it doesn't matter the kind of job. Even if they say you might work in mortuary, in as much as it's paying your bills, just go and do it, because the Bible says that the desires of the lazy will kill them, because they don't want to use their hands to do anything. And for those of you who might be coming to Europe with the mindset of, when I come, I'll look for a white man who will pay my bills. There's nobody here. There's no need duro here. There's no anybody that will give you free something. There are people that will give you free something. But then when people tell you the things they do to get that free thing, can you do it? And lastly, I'm just going to say, if you are coming, hold money to survive for the first 3 months. I do say it, hold money to pay your rent for 3 months. I had cash to pay my rent because, you know, I was here, I was sponsored, so I had cash to pay my rent for a certain period of time. So because for me, I didn't work until like 2 months of arriving in Belgium. So have money. When they tell you have vex money when you go on a date, that's the same thing as coming abroad. Have money to pay your bills. Nobody will beg. My grandmother is dead. See, nobody send your papa. If you like, don't pay your rent. You just see that the next thing you'll be getting emails for. The emails will look like threatening emails that they'll come and bundle you and your property outside of the house. So have money to pay your bills, See, I always tell God, if I'm broke and I don't have money to even buy fancy clothes or fancy things, please just help me to have money to pay my rent, and don't shame me in that aspect. And I thank God that at every point in life, even if they say Bola, they call me last minute for a shift and people are like, no, it's too last minute, I go. My sister and brother, I go, because hey, it's lonely and it's tough. It's not easy, but God will help us. I think it's everything I have to say about working in Belgium. You can work, you can pay your school fees, you can live fine, you'll be okay. So just have your school fees for like the first year or first semester when you come. And good thing is, schools in Belgium, not all of them take your full tuition before you come, so you still have time to gather money and do all of those things. And I hope with this video I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that there are jobs in Belgium for international students and you can work, and these are the types of job you can do, and you can pay your bills and you can pay your tuition fee and you can still live fine. You can even still do black tax, if you know what I mean. So thank you for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, leave your comments, share, and what else? Subscribe, please. See, I'm in the code making this video. Please subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.